In the quiet moonlit village of San Lazaro, nestled deep within the Philippine archipelago, whispers of the supernatural were as common as the rustling of palm leaves in the wind. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of creatures that lurked in the shadows, but none inspired as much fear as the Manananggal. The Manananggal was said to be a terrifying creature, a woman by day and a monster by night. She could sever her upper torso from her lower body, sprout bat-like wings, and take to the skies in search of her prey. Her long, proboscis-like tongue was her weapon, used to suck the blood or the life force from pregnant women or unsuspecting villagers. The only way to destroy her was to find her lower half and sprinkle it with salt or ash, preventing her from reattaching before sunrise. One fateful evening, a young woman named Althea arrived in San Lazaro. She had come to visit her aunt, who had fallen ill. Althea was a city girl, raised in the bustling streets of Manila, and she scoffed at the villagers' superstitions. "Manananggal? That's just a story to scare children," she said with a laugh, brushing off the warnings of the locals. Her aunt, frail and bedridden, gripped Althea's hand tightly. "You must be careful, child. The Manananggal is real. She preys on those who do not believe." Althea smiled reassuringly but said nothing. She spent the evening tending to her aunt, preparing herbal remedies and ensuring she was comfortable. As night fell, the village grew eerily quiet. The usual sounds of crickets and frogs were absent, replaced by an unsettling silence. Unable to sleep, Althea decided to take a walk under the full moon. The cool night air was refreshing, and the moon cast an ethereal glow over the rice fields. But as she wandered further from the village, she began to feel a strange unease. The hairs on the back of her neck stood on end and a chill ran down her spine. Suddenly she heard a faint flapping sound like the wings of a large bird. She turned around, her heart pounding, but saw nothing. The sound grew louder, closer. Althea's breath quickened as she scanned the darkness. Then, she saw it. A figure hovering in the air, its wings casting a shadow over the moonlit ground. The creature descended slowly, revealing itself to Althea. It was a woman, beautiful yet horrifying, with glowing red eyes and a mouth that stretched into a sinister smile. Her torso was separated from her lower body, and her long serpentine tongue flicked out hungrily. Althea froze in terror as the Manananggal approached. "You should have listened to their warnings," the creature hissed, her voice a chilling blend of sweetness and malice. "Now you will feed me." Summoning every ounce of courage, Althea turned and ran. The Manananggal let out a shrill laugh and gave chase, her wings carrying her effortlessly through the air. Althea's heart raced as she sprinted toward the village, her mind racing for a way to escape. As she neared her aunt's house, she remembered the villagers' tales, salt and ash. Those were the keys to defeating the Manananggal. Bursting into the house, she grabbed a jar of salt from the kitchen and a handful of ashes from the hearth. She could hear the creature's wings beating outside, the sound growing louder with each passing second. The Manananggal crashed through the window, her eyes blazing with fury. Althea stood her ground, clutching the salt and ash in her trembling hands. As the creature lunged at her, she threw the salt and ash at the lower half of the Manananggal's body, which had been left behind. The creature let out an ear-piercing scream as her lower half began to wither and decay. Desperate, she tried to reattach, but it was too late. The first rays of dawn broke through the horizon, and the Manananggal's upper body disintegrated into a pile of ash. Exhausted and shaken, Althea collapsed to the floor. Her aunt, awakened by the commotion, found her and held her tightly. "You did well, child," she whispered. "You have saved us all." From that day on, Althea never doubted the stories of the supernatural. The villagers celebrated her bravery, but she knew the truth. The Manananggal was real, and its legend would forever haunt the nights of San Lazaro.